Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining in. If you're not here, we are doing our Builders webinar. So I just want to just let you know that today is our first start of the series for the Builders webinar for here in Ghana. So as a real estate professional, my name is Jimkia Fierro, and I'm with Gold Line International. And I wanted to bring to my people an opportunity for them to get to know the builders that are going to be building here in Ghana. And I get a lot of questions where people ask me, Jimkia, do you know a builder that you can refer me to? Or do you know how much it will cost to build a 2 or 3 bedroom house, or how much a cement wall will cost? So I'm like, no, I don't know that. Those are questions that you have to ask a builder. As a real estate professional, I always want to make sure that I'm bringing information to the people, to the public. A lot of us are moving back here to Ghana, and we're buying land and we're building houses, and we must help you find a builder. And one of the best ways to do this is I've created this builders webinar. So where I present a showcase to you, a builder every week, and you get to listen to the builder. He will talk about, his style of building, his cost for building, or materials, and those things that his company do that maybe any other company does not do. So on this webinar series, you will find builders and real estate developers as well. So they are building and developing homes and communities just the same. So today I want to introduce you guys to Mr. Edward K. Mensah. He is with TMG Limited. That is his registered business here in Ghana. So Mr. Mensah, please, nice to join us today. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you coming in here, taking the time to inform the public and inform the people that are here in Ghana that's looking for a builder, and those who are coming and that will be here and will be needing a builder. So this information is going to be very beneficial for them. So Mr. Edward, can you please just let us know a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you got into the construction and building business?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to reach out to all those who are looking forward to, getting the services of a business like mine to get their oasis, their dream home in Ghana. My name, as you mentioned, Edward K. Mensah. I'm a native Ghanaian. I was born in Ghana, did my elementary school, high school in Ghana, and I moved to United States for my bachelor's degree and master's degree. My academic career is around science, computer science, the cybersecurity work, and alongside, I was also working with contractors and other builders as a passion goal. My introduction into building and real estate in the United States was when I was in college, actually. I started a fix and flip deals where I will, purchase a home, work on it and sell it or rent it. So that's back in 1999, work on my way up. And then in 2006, we decided to actually go full-time into the construction industry in Colorado, United States. So we incorporated TMG Construction. TMG Construction did very well, and we are still doing well. And the reason why I said did very well is that we've moved our operations out of Colorado now. Now we are on the East Coast, Virginia, and we are also in Ghana. So primarily, we did usually tenant finish. We did a few commercial projects, and then mostly residential projects, tenant finish. So in the United States, I operate as Gita Homes. Gita Homes build new houses, either townhomes or single family dwelling. And also we do tenant finish and remodels sometimes. Mostly we do new construction. We operate out of the state of Virginia, Georgia, and then Colorado. So Gita Homes back in Colorado, operating. We have a host of contractors in each of these states, and then Ghana, right? So basically, this is about me. I have been in the construction building business since 2006 full time, and we are still trying to shatter the glass ceiling and do more projects as we go.
Wow, that's awesome. So here you are a builder in the United States and now in Ghana. So what inspired you to build in Ghana?
So interesting. Actually, I never really thought I was going to be a builder. I thought I was going to be, a scientist or any of those other areas. Come to United States, get a skill, and take it back home. And now I'm taking building back home. The reason is that there seems to be a demand for the international building code products in Ghana. Because now people who are coming back to Ghana are more
Yes.
sophisticated people, right? They want to make sure that their buildings are built to meet international code. I'm a Class A general contractor in the United States. So for me to get that level of licensing, I have to understand international building code or international residential code, take test for it, get a license and all of that. So with that knowledge in mind, we are looking at making sure that what is built in Ghana meets the international code. And also to bring the United States architecture type of people. So I met some people who say, I'm building in Ghana or Africa. I'm not really into the cinder block kind of building, it's nice, but I'm not used to it. I don't like it.
Right. Yeah.
I want to be able to be in a house that look and feel like my home in the United States. Can you do something about it? Yes, definitely I can do something about it. So that is with that mindset that we're trying to bring a seamless transition of housing products from United States to Ghana.
Okay.
So that was the inspiration, yes, basically.
So would you say, Edward, that is this something that separates you from every other builder in Ghana? Or what would you say makes you different than other builders that are building in Ghana right now?
Yes, definitely. I don't know all the builders in Ghana, but I think what sets me apart is the fact that I've had the experience of building in the United States,
Okay.
and have that knowledge base to be able to transition that to Ghana seamlessly. Uh, if the builders in Ghana are mostly been building in Ghana, then I would say that their level of international experience pretty much will not be at my level.
Right.
So what I bring to the table as far as leverage.
Okay, okay, great, right. And that's the thing. We have to, at this day and age, really start thinking globally, going outside sometimes of our local network, because if we have a certain skill or expertise, we need to be able to share that, and especially in Ghana, and especially because you are a native of Ghana. So that's a great thing that I see as well that will definitely set you apart. So tell me, in your idea or your perspective, how do you see real estate development moving forward in Ghana?
Oh, it is huge. I have done research in every sector or every market in Ghana and cutting from affordable housing all the way to luxury homes. And each of them, there is a strong demand. I see in the next 20 years, real estate in Africa being the main driver of economy. That
Yes.
is why I'm excited to jump in and provide, what I can provide to the
Okay.
whole, yeah. So it's very promising, and I encourage anybody who is really looking to invest, be serious about it, and build something. If it's even for short-term rental, stuff like that, do that. I encourage it.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, great. All right. Well, I really appreciate you answering that question. So another question is, so what are the key steps in building and when you're building in Ghana specifically that buyers need to know?
Okay. So there's no one answer to this question. The
Okay.
reason is every, so I'll speak of United States, then I'll come to Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
United States, every state have their own sort of building codes that you have to meet in processes.
Mm-hmm.
Every municipality also do have that. So the first thing as a builder is that before you start building in any city, any town, you want to first get with the local government and understand the processes that they follow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are certain aspects of it that is general, but as far as the process is going to be unique. But identification of the land, once you find the land can be raw or it can be infill.
Mm-hmm.
If it's infill, then once you acquire it, before you acquire, right, you do due diligence to figure out the city, what you can actually build. You get a go ahead, you purchase it, and then you get your architect involved. TMG Construction and Gita Homes do work with architects, about 5 architects across the world. We have some in Pakistan, we have some in Bangladesh, India, we have some in Nigeria, Ghana, and then of course United States. These people bring different aspects of architecture that we like to build in order to represent a global.
Mm-hmm.
So architects to design, and then you get your engineers involved, you get your surveyors involved, and then you go through the process to obtain your permits, and then you get your contractors to bid. Whoever you select will start the building for you. You just manage. TMG construction is mainly, we are mainly focused on the consultation and the project management side of the construction. So we are vetting proper contractors who know what they are doing. If we have to, of course, we have the international knowledge. So then we are there to support them in terms of project management, make sure they meet our deadline, and also the cash, the resources that has been earmarked to get a project done. In construction or building, most of the time you don't meet your deadline or your budget. We try to do our best to stay within at least 75%
Mm-hmm.
to 90% to make sure that even if we go about budget, you're not coming out of pocket a huge sum of money. So let's go back to Ghana. Ghana has obviously another different process. You acquire the land, you get your architect to design for you, you get your engineer to design the structure, do it's called it a professional engineering structural, and then you get your mason to build for you.
Okay.
That is kind of way if you are doing it with the cinder blocks. But as we go down, I explain the type of building that or the type of materials that we are going to use to exchange or substitute some of the overburdened cinder block construction that we have in Ghana.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wow, that's great. So, okay, so thinking about TMG Limited, one of the big things that may separate you from other builders in Ghana is building material. So please explain your building materials that you use, and is this something that's going to be more innovative, or is it going to be the standard type of building material that is currently being used in majority of Ghana when they're building homes? So just give a
It's
little insight about that.
CMG Construction Limited. Definitely, we are going to use different materials. Of course, these materials are there. The application of it is what sets us apart. There are 5 types of buildings in the world. We have type 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming from Bacchus, United States, we build our residential homes with all wood, right? That is type 5. Type 4 has more wood, little concrete. Type 3, now you get into commercial and residential, both sides. You can do all wood or you do concrete. And then type 1 and 2. Type 1 and 2 is mainly cinder block concrete and metal. So as we can tell in Ghana, we are mainly building type 2. Unfortunately, type 2 is the most expensive way to build a house, right? So what we are trying to do is we're trying to replace a lot of the cinder block components. For instance, the interior partition walls, instead of it being cinder blocks, we're going to use steel studs, 18-gauge steel studs.
Okay.
That is what is done in the commercial environment in the United States. It works anywhere. Yeah. The
So
perimeter
what does
walls.
and what does that exactly do? That what you just said, this you said steel stacks?
Use no studs,
Studs.
studs,
Okay, got it.
steel studs. So a wall consists of studs and
Mm-hmm.
then plates, right? Single plate at the bottom and double plate at the top. That makes a wall. In
Okay.
Ghana, well, cinder blocks that you stack with mortar joints, and then you get to the level that you want to get to.
Okay.
Steel studs has holes in them that will allow you to pass wires back and forth from one point to the
Okay.
other.
Yeah.
Also, because of the holes, now you have air traveling from each pocket to the other, so the
Right.
walls. And also, as part of our custom design for it to be more cool, we're going to
Mm-hmm.
install air ports at the top and the bottom for air to circulate at the bottom and recirculate throughout the building.
Wow.
So
Okay.
um, that is something that I have not seen being done in Ghana, and that's what we bring to the table. So by the time we finish building, the inside is more cooler than the usual, and save you money. Actually, the construction process will go longer too.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is to introduce sheetrock, drywall, joint compound, and stuff like that. And people are saying, oh, those who sweat, it will not work.
Mm.
Not really actually true. If you go to Mexico, they use drywall. The temperature in Mexico is just pretty much like Ghana, Guatemala. A lot of the South American countries use drywall, and it's
Yeah.
just fine.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah,
we
because
just have to.
that was one of the questions too. I was wondering while you were talking, like, how is this material going to affect the climate? Because the moment you said that, I was like, yeah, because I knew somebody's going to ask that question. And that's a very good question. I mean, and you gave a very valid answer. Yes,
It will work there. The
it will
reason why
work.
you don't see it much is that we don't have the artisans who are used to working with
Yeah,
it.
working with
Um,
that, right?
the most I've seen is they're using it for sealing that they call it POP.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Okay.
But
Definitely
yeah,
heard that.
we need to use it on the walls too, and it would definitely work in that climate.
Okay.
Um, so as far as materials, that is what we're going to do. We're going to source a lot of local materials as well. We believe that we need to do that to help the local economy. So
Mm-hmm.
see the best that we can take from the local marketplace, and then if we have to export from United States to Ghana, we will do
Right.
that. Also, we do have Chinese partners that
Mm-hmm.
help in the interior design in terms
Okay.
of the appliances and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So we get it directly from the source. That way, it cuts down the middleman and saves you money.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you, so how does your building process reduce environmental impact?
Environmental impact. Can you be specific about what you mean by environmental impact?
So with the type of materials that you use, how does it affect the environment? I mean, are they eco-friendly materials and things like that? I mean, is it going to have a low impact or a high impact on the environment with this use? I know, you know how like, there's different materials like I've learned here that they've used the rammed earth or or the what you call them, the sand, they like make
Uh,
bricks
oh
out
yeah,
of
okay.
sand.
Okay.
There's different
And
materials. So with the materials that
paradise, yeah, stuff
yeah.
like that.
So with the materials that you're using, will it have any type of impact on the environment, or is it going to be a good impact or not? What would you say
Good
to that?
impact. Good impact, because if we are obviously we're still going to be using the cinder blocks,
Cinder
mortar,
blocks. Yeah.
cement, for the foundation and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. The use of quarry dikes, basically reusing
Mm-hmm.
materials that came from the environment over there. Most of the materials that we use have been certified by international board as far as its impact on the environment, whether positive or negative. It has been minimized, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think that we will not really be sourcing materials that are definitely not good for the environment. We'll go for the best out there. So we'll make sure that whatever we build is sustainable and also good for our environment.
Okay, great, great. Do you have any type of architectural style that that you use more often with your building or in your designs, or do you just strictly go off of what the customer wants?
So in the US, we've built a vast array of different architecture types. I personally enjoy building the Victorian style of
Okay.
urban subcottage. In Virginia, we are developing a 30-unit subdivision that will have contemporary modern design. So we are a custom builder. So whatever you want to be built as a client, we have the architects to design that for you, and as long as you approve it, we can definitely build it for you.
Okay,
But
awesome.
and we can definitely anything that you have seen anywhere in the world that you want us to look at, we are confident that we look at it and come up with a solution.
Okay, great, great. So that's good. So just so you guys know that, with Mr. Edward Mensa, he'll be able to customize your house the way that you want it. And he also has, he's been working with different architectural styles. So, he can also give insight on how he can take your idea and just make it even better. So, those are one of the things that, when you're looking for a builder, you want to make sure that they have an array or a different style of building. You want to look at, like we talked about earlier, about the different materials, and are these materials cost effective? Are they good on the environment? These are good questions too. Of course, yes, the question is, Edward, how much would it cost to build a 3-bedroom house in Ghana, with your building versus the standard build of the cement block house? So that's one of the questions that people want to look at, comparing. So what do you say about that?
Definitely, we're going to be cheaper and faster.
Okay.
Because so for instance, in the United States, when you see bricks on a house, it is not structural most of the time. They are just for we call them veneer, we call them a facade element, right? They are just there to make the building look beautiful. We're going to introduce that in Ghana as well. So with all these elements in there, going to put insulation in there. It will make the building more efficient, but the cost will be definitely less than these iron rods that you have to basically pump into these houses. We have options around, using irons to flow. We're going to use steel joists with corrugated sheet, cast 4-inch concrete on top of it. This is something that I have done in the US here in a commercial environment, and definitely will be able to utilize that same method in Ghana.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I want to go back to, how you talked about your architectural style. So now, transitioning from the US to Ghana, I know that you said you like the Victorian style build, but how would you, if a buyer came to you and said, you know what, Edward, I like the Victorian style build, but how could I create that Victorian style build also incorporating Ghanaian style? So do you actually have specific engineers or designers to do that, or do you have more of a word or say so in the design and build for buyers?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And most of what I build, actually, I conceive the idea and then get my architects to follow what is in my head.
Okay.
They draw, I discuss with them, they draw it, they bring it to me, I do mark out. So no, okay, now I see, but this is how I want it. Even
Okay.
last time, I was doing a couple of those with my architect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in Ghana, the building style traditionally in Ghana has been the type of segregation where you have your bedrooms, your bathrooms segregated, your kitchen segregated, your everything segregated. The open concept is not really that popular in Ghana, and that is
Right.
something that we intend to bring to Ghana.
Okay.
Um, Type of designs.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the Victorian element inside a house, there are a lot of great artisans in Ghana that I've met
Mm-hmm.
who will be able to, customize the trim work, the crown moldings, the pictorial elements and so on and so forth, the baseboard, the casings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so definitely there are artisans in Ghana that we can partner with to incorporate their level of skill into what we design to build.
Okay, great, great. And I know there's another question about building time. I know in Ghana, because we have different seasons and you have the rainy season, and but on average, most buyers, especially diaspora, when once they purchase their land, they're ready to start to build, and they need sort of like a timeline on how long will it take you to build my house. So for a person who's building an average, just say 3 or 4 bedroom home, no more than maybe 2,000 to 2,500 square feet. How long do you think the build time would be for a home in Ghana? So that kind of
So,
people can kind of plan, and things like that.
right, that's a great question. I'll start with the US. Usually our build time in the US depends, like regular 3 to 4 bedroom house in the US takes us about 4 to 5 months to build
Mm-hmm.
it from beginning to the end. In Ghana, as you mentioned, we have the seasons, so depends on timing.
Mm-hmm.
We will definitely not start building in the rainy season in Ghana. I think rainy season, what, in June, May, early part of July.
Yeah.
So the best time I would say we'll start building in Ghana is in August, where the rainy season is gone. Then we can stick with that through December, January, February. We should be done with the project.
Okay.
What we usually do in terms of our project timeline is, and also of course we follow that through our project planning. We break our projects into 3 segments.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is pre-construction. We call the soft cost activities,
Mm-hmm.
design, engineering, permitting, and so on and so forth. And then the second phase is shell in, where we do the foundation. We focus on the perimeter wall, our
Mm-hmm.
window, our doors,
Okay.
roof. We are tacked in.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to continue even to build through the rainy season, once we've shelled it in before the rainy season starts, everything on the inside can be done because the house is weather proof. Yeah.
Okay,
And then
great.
the last phase is our finishing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that is the interior finishing, yes.
Okay. So let me ask you, so with the permit process, we know that like in the US, at every different phase, you got to make sure that you have a permit and you got to make sure that an inspector has to come out and inspect each different phase of that build. Is that the same process that happens here in Ghana as well?
No. In the United States, before I finished building one house, I would have gone through 17, sometimes 18
Right.
different sections. Um,
Inspections, yes.
but in Ghana, no. They don't have that setup
Mm-hmm.
at the, either municipality level or the government level. You still have to go for a permit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, at a certain point, you get them to come and look at it. But as far as the integrity of the construction, as far as the know-how of the construction, you have to rely on your builder to be your best judge, and to make sure that the building is being built properly. The municipality will not be responsible for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gita Homes and TMG Construction, like I said, we're already licensed, Class A general contractor. We know what to expect by any inspector. We know what to do to meet any code requirement. So we take that same mindset to build anywhere, regardless, whether it's in Ghana, United States. we'll make sure that whatever we build meets the international standard, and you'll be safe with us.
Awesome. Wow. That is really great. You know what? I really appreciate you taking the time and coming on here. And if you could please let everyone know, again, you know, your name, your companies in the US and in Ghana, and how they can, you know, get more information about your build if you have a website.
Yes, so we are right now building our TMG construction website for the Ghana market. It's not ready yet,
Okay.
but in the US, Gida Homes, www.gidahomes.com, GIDAHOMES.com. You can go there and send us a message, and we'll be able to respond to you, call you back, and discuss. What another thing that sets us apart is that we are building in the US, building in Ghana. So we bring that level of comfort where we know that you are dealing with a US builder building for you in Ghana. So you don't have to worry about sending money to anybody in Ghana and worry about if your money is going to be squandered or not. You pay to us here. You're going to be part of the project planning. You're going to be part of the timeline. We do Zoom calls, whichever way for you to be fully vested. So you communicate with us in the US and we'll give you updates. If you have to go to Ghana, we'll definitely let our counterpart over there meet with you while you are there to see how the progress of your project. So that is the comfort level that we present to anybody who wants to build in Ghana and is from the United States.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Edward Mensah is the we don't I don't want to put our phone number, but yeah, if you send us a message on our website, we'll definitely get it and be able to respond to you.
Okay, thank you. And what I'll do is I'll make sure in the descriptions, everybody, I'll have my contact information and I'll also have his website information on there. So that way you can go online and check out his website so you can see the projects and things that he has going on in the United States. Because if you see that, then it'll give you an idea of who he is and how he builds. So when you're ready to build here in Ghana, that you already have an idea. So, you know, one other question I wanted to ask you is, do you guys, do you offer any type of payment plans or anything like that for your build, or how is that set up? And when once a buyer contacts you, like I want to use you as a builder, kind of just walk them through that process of how to start the build process, you know, the administrative part of that.
Okay, so we have flexible payment packages. Usually, you end up paying less for the building if you're able to fund everything up front. You have a big discount with that. If you don't have the ability to fund everything up front, we have a percentage that you have to put down, and then a payment plan over a period of two years, sometimes 3 to 5 years for you to finish paying for it. Once you have paid up to like 50% and we finish the building, we should move into the building and start using it. So then if you want to use it for Airbnb, for instance, you are getting income in, that income now can make your payments to help you out. So we are very flexible. Just call us, we'll discuss your particular unique situation, and then we'll be able to come up with a solution to move forward. We are also on Facebook. If you search for Gila Homes, you'll get access to our projects in the US that we are working on, and you see type of buildings and so on and so forth over there as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, Edward, just one last thing. If there's one thing that you want to let prospective customers know about your company, what is that?
We are a builder of choice. We don't try to do what everybody do. But once you choose us, you will not regret. Like I said earlier, we bring that level of international exposure, the international building experience, and that should be a comfort zone for you to be rest assured that whatever we build for you will be at the top quality level.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I see that we just had Miles join in. Hi, Miles. We're sort of toward the end of the webinar, but if there is a specific question that you're interested in asking Mr. Mensa, you can unmute yourself and you can feel free to ask your questions.
Hi.
Hello, thanks for joining us. Did you have any specific questions that you wanted to ask that pertains to building or building in Ghana while we have Mr. Mensa on the line, on the webinar?
No, 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 not at this time. Not at this
Oh,
time, really.
okay, great, great. I just want to make sure I gave you that opportunity. So,
Yes, thank you.
yeah, so what I'm going to do, Miles, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to post this back on Facebook, YouTube, on my social media, so you'll have an opportunity to see the recording. And then, of course,
Okay,
if you have any questions, then you can contact me, or you can go to Mr. Mensa's website, and then you can contact him there. But I just want to make
thank you.
sure that this webinar is all about just getting information out to, you know, diasporas or anybody who's looking to move to Ghana, that's looking to build and want to get more information about the different builders and their building style that have here, that they're going to be building here in Ghana. So again, Mr. Mensa, Edward, I thank you for your time. You've put out a lot of great information. I know that this is going to be very beneficial for people. I think it's amazing that you already have a business building and developing in the US, and you bring in that same standard which a lot of the diaspora is looking for. You know, not to say anything about Ghana, but there's certain things that we look for when we're doing business and when we're building that our eyes see that maybe someone else doesn't, you know what I'm saying, or another builder doesn't, because that's the way that they traditionally build and that's what they're accustomed to. So it's good to have new insight, a new fresh set of eyes, you know, especially coming from the US and understanding both cultures and merging those two cultures together. I think it's going to be a wonderful thing. So I'm excited to see what you're going to do here in Ghana. So when you get your clients here in Ghana, please let me know because I'm
Definitely,
excited, you know, to walk through that process with you, because I mean, this is amazing, you know. Like I tell people, we have to step outside of the box with our business. You know, me as a real estate professional, being licensed in the US, but also coming to Ghana, you as a business owner building and developing and bringing those same skills to Ghana. So now you're expanding your brand globally. I mean, right now is Ghana, who knows, next year it could be Nigeria or Tanzania. So, you know, you as a builder, this is also giving people inspiration, because sometimes people feel like, I don't want to retire yet, or I don't have enough money. Bring your skills and your expertise across the ocean and do the same thing, so you're still generating income for yourself. So, you know, this is also showing people that you don't just have to stop working, or you don't have to wait to retire. You can still take whatever your skills are in the US, or wherever you come from, Canada or Dubai, or wherever you come from, and build a business in Ghana, a respectable good business. So I appreciate you and I thank you for your time. And I look forward to seeing what you're doing.
definitely. I want to say thank you to you so much for giving us the audience to share what we have to offer. I appreciate you and looking forward to doing business. Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Well, thank you, Miles, for joining in. And to everybody else out there, I thank you. If you weren't able to make it on the webinar today, like I said, I will post this on YouTube, Facebook, and on my other social medias. Just look for me, Jim Kia _Fierro at Gold Line Internationals. Thank you, and everybody have a blessed day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.